I'll just start at 4 like usual.
Yeah, and so far I don't see Justin. That's the only other member
Coach.
we're missing.
Okay.
So I guess if we don't see him, I mean, the only change would be obviously some of the language in that opening remarks script.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Gretchen, would you look and see in a few seconds if Brandon has joined? He's going to call in.
Yep, I will keep an eye out.
Okay.
Hey guys, how's everybody today?
Pretty good.
Hey Justin, how are you?
Good.
Okay, Gretchen, it won't let him join by phone either. So can I give you his number and
I don't know if how I would do that on my end. So let me see if I can find let me see if I can do it this way. Because yeah, apparently all they have to do is click that link on Civic Web and they get in. Like there's apparently there's been no need for them to do a password today.
okay, so go to the Civic Web.
Yeah, they need to go to Civic Web. I would do that.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, it gave me trouble today as well. I joined as a guest.
Okay.
Trying to sign in.
Yeah, I think there was something weird with how we have the meeting set up or how IT maybe possibly moved it. So that will be something we'll have to fix for next one. So everybody, including all of the representatives for the petitions today, are set as guests and participants. So not sure how to fix that.
Okay. Okay. Are we ready, guys?
I do have all three of you. Debbie, we'll kind of I'll keep an eye out for this Brandon for 43-23. And I guess if need be, if we get to that one and he's still not on here, we'll move that one to the bottom. Okay?
Okay.
So you're good to go, Angelia.
Okay. I think I got like 30 seconds. I would like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Angelia Bills, Chair, Justin Randall, Vice Chair, Vincent Nutt, Member. The Department of Planning staff members are Debbie Nesbitt, Mel Wilson, Ashra Mikra Mathalaka, Abby Freudel, Kayla Holland, Shane Stryler, and Gretchen Arnold. Also on the call is Bob Grant from the County Counselor's Office. First, I'd like to offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, July 26, 2023. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of June 28, 2023.
A second.
Okay, you move,
Mhm.
Vince,
I'll second.
and Justin seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. I think, okay, and there are none opposed. This meeting is conducted as a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record and present technical evidence to the board if needed. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To do so, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote at that time. The discussion is ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party also has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioners.
All right, and just for the record, we do have the petitioner from 43-23 on now, so we will continue in the order as advertised on the public hearing notice.
Okay.
First, we have 41-23 Mary Ann Markaway is a request for an exception to the side and rear yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a retaining wall and fence at 5334 Wilson Court, maintaining a side yard of 5 feet in lieu of 6 feet and a rear yard of 5 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the R3 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And then Matthew and Mary, I am going to unmute you guys, and then if you can just state your names for the record, that'd be great. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Matt Markway, and this is my mother.
Mary Ann Markway.
Hello.
And the reason we're here is my mom's house. Her backyard slopes dramatically in the rear, and it goes to an easement. Her actual backyard's only 15 foot to the easement, and we are seeking to get the retaining wall into the easement, which we already have approval from all the utility companies. And the reason we got the idea was 2 houses to the north in the same subdivision. They have the same exact thing, and they're kind of the ones that gave us the idea to do it.
It's totally unusable. I've slipped and fallen down it, slid down it twice. I had to call 3 different landscapers that would even cut the grass. And I have grandchildren. I just would like to have usable, safe space.
Mm-hmm. So there presently isn't a retaining wall there, correct?
Not
No,
in my yard, no.
no, the 2 houses up, they did the same thing that we're getting ready to hopefully do.
Okay. And so is your hardship just being able to keep it level?
To maintain it too, it took, like I said, just to get my mom somebody to cut her grass, it took 3 different landscape companies refused it because it was too steep to cut.
Okay.
So we finally found somebody to do it. But it's not only that, the maintenance wise, but it's really the safety thing. It slopes pretty bad. It's not usable.
Okay.
So it's a safety concern.
Yeah.
It is. And she won't say it. She's tough, but she's got 2 torn meniscus at her knees right now. So, and she's 75. So my brother and I are pretty concerned about it.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
I don't have any.
I'm very familiar with this site. It's right around the corner from where I am, and so it backs up to a detention basin. The slopes are pretty substantial in that area, so yeah, that's all I have.
Justin, you don't see any issue with watershed pushing off into any other place by as well or anything like that?
No, it would all still drain into that detention pond.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't.
I will make a motion for 4123 and approval for hardship for variance to provide a retaining wall due to hardship for safety concern.
Okay. I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries. Thank you.
42-23 Michael Pate is a request for an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of reconstructing an attached garage at 6059 Kurth Road, maintaining a side yard of 12 feet in lieu of 20 feet as required by the NU non-urban district regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Michael, I'm going to request for you to unmute. Again, just state your name for the record and you'll be able to present.
Hi, panel. This is Michael Pate. I am the owner of 6059 Kurth. Requesting the side yard variance. When the house was originally built or added on to back in the 70s, we had an existing garage, and the side lights setback was different at that point. So we only had 5.3 feet from the side of the house to the neighboring property. That garage and our back patio did not have a footing underneath them, and the foundations were both compromised. They were both sinking quite a bit. We took the garage and back porch off. We talked to them about the demo permit. That's actually not this drawing. I don't know why the barn is in there, but yeah, it seems to have different variations in here. So, but the question is, we want to rebuild back a smaller garage in lieu of the larger garage that we had because it was right next to the property line. So if you can see where the blue Jeep is there, if you guys are looking at the picture, is where the old garage was. We tore it off a few weeks back and started building the porch, which is a separate permit. And the new garage would be basically within the footprint of the old garage, just smaller in order to give a sideline so we can get back to the shed that's in the back. So that's basically what we're looking at. The code changed after the house was in the existing garage was built.
Mhm.
Any questions I can answer for you guys?
I think you answered my question. Do you have any, Justin or Vince?
I do not. So,
Okay.
I have no questions either.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see anybody, so at this time I will mute the petitioner.
Okay. Hearing none, 42-23, I vote to approve the variance as advertised, and the hardship being the need to replace a garage that was formerly there in the same footprint at a smaller size.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Thank you.
43-23 Brandon Rathberger is a request for an exception to the front and rear yard regulations for the purpose of constructing an in-ground swimming pool and equipment at 2505 Brush Creek Road, maintaining a front yard of 31 feet in lieu of 50 feet for the pool equipment along Brush Creek Road, and a rear yard of 8 feet in lieu of 20 feet for the swimming pool as required by the NU non-urban district regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Brandon, you're unmuted, so just state your name for the record and you'll be able to present.
I am Brandon Rathgaber of 2505 Brush Creek, and we would like to put our pool to where we don't really have much of a backyard. So I have 4 children, and I want to be able to see my pool from in my kitchen, where if I put the pool the 20-foot setback, it's in my side yard, and where our patio and everything is, you won't be able to see the pool. clearly. So safety reasons with having children, I'd like to be able to see the pool when sitting in the backyard. So my reasoning behind it is setting 8 foot from the fence line, because I believe in subdivisions, it's an 8 foot rule off the property line. And I have a half acre, and the way it's set for safety reasons would be when you're sitting on my back porch or in my kitchen, I could see my pool at all times when I'm there.
Do you have 2 front yards?
Side yards, I would call it, more than anything, I guess.
He does have 2 fronts.
Yeah,
We
by
could see-
definition,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I was
On the
thinking was
corner.
happening. Mhm.
And the property in front of the proposed pool location, that is still your property, isn't, intent to put anything there in front of it at any future date?
No, I actually, in order to do this, we had to conjoin the 2 properties to one. So that was actually switched already and done. So maybe it's not in there already as far as what it is. I think because it's 2501 and 2505, but no longer. It should all be under one piece of ground.
Yeah, those are difficult when you've got 2 fronts, and
Mhm.
then an odd rear setback, so.
Is
Yeah.
the intent to put any type of fencing around, or is it just going to be open?
Well, on my whole backyard, there's where you can see the actual white vinyl fence.
Mhm.
Then my neighbor's fence is a just chain link fence. That's actually coming down. I'm going to have another vinyl fence put up that runs along the fence line. His fence is coming down and the new one's going in.
Mhm.
So it would be 8 foot off his fence line is what it is for the one side of the pool. But then that way the whole pool would be visible from what I have as a backyard, which is not very much backyard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it would be
Okay.
like a porch area, and that's all I have for backyard, more or less. My garage is the back of the house also, but it's all driveway.
Sure.
Okay.
Of configuration.
Mhm.
I have no further questions.
Okay.
And for me as well.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time, Brandon, I am going to mute you so the board can take their vote.
In the matter of 43-23, based on the odd configuration of the lot with the 2 streets, I'm going to recommend approval of the variance as advertised.
I second it. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And she said aye too. I couldn't
Aye.
hear. Okay. The motion carries. Thank you.
All right, the very last one for you guys today is 43-23 Ritz Center LLC Quick Trip is a request for an exception to the front yard and sign regulations for the purpose of constructing parking spaces and signage at 3976 Lee May Ferry Road, maintaining a front yard of 12 feet in lieu of 15 feet for parking and drive aisle, and a sign height of 12 feet in lieu of 8 feet as required by the C3 Shopping District regulations and Section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Gwen, I'm going to unmute you and just please state your name for the record.
My name is Gwen Keene and I'm with Quick Trip. So we are requesting these 2 variances. The first of which is the relief from the driveway parking setback of 12.3 feet. There is significant right-of-way that is deep into the corner of that lot.